My best friend never thought I could get a boyfriend, now she's thirsting all over him and trying to get slammed. 24F, know I should be careful about calling someone my best friend in a post like this, but I don't know how else to refer to Jessie. 24F. Our parents are great friends, so we grew up together, and she kind of had my back in high school. Long story short, on the teenage food chain, she was on top, and I should be on the bottom. However, nobody messed with me because I was Jessie's friend. Jessie is one of those people who requires attention. I never minded, though. Nobody is perfect, right? But now that I have my first real boyfriend, she doesn't know how to behave. Every time we are together, she is really handsy, always touching his arms, running her fingers through his hair, and complimenting him. Now, she has even started with the prank hitting on his behind, you know? I just feel really uncomfortable with it. Maybe it's normal, I mean, Jessie has a lot of guy friends, so maybe this is okay? My boyfriend never thought much of it either. She is super pretty, so maybe I'm just jealous? Anyway, yesterday something really threw me off. My boyfriend had to do some work, and I had a book thing, hobby related, so we decided to meet later at a friend's house. They were getting together to drink and so on. My boyfriend finishes work early and calls me, but I don't really need him to come over to the book thing. I know he doesn't like it, so I just tell him to go to the friend's house. Then I start getting texts from Jessie like, "Girl, you gotta come to this party now, your boyfriend is so wasted lol, we drank so much, you need to come and stop us lol, I can't behave myself if you don't get here soon," and so on. The book thing took longer than I thought, and I was just getting madder and madder. But I am a very non-confrontational person, so I deal with it. I call my boyfriend when it's over because I don't feel like going to this party anymore, but I was his ride, so I ask him if he needs me to come pick him up. He says, "Sure," and I get there and don't even go inside. I am ready to release the hounds of hell on him, but he gets in my car, and he is stone cold sober. I ask him if he was drinking and then show him Jessie's texts. He gets super upset and says she was lying. He wasn't even hanging out directly with her but catching up with a friend who just came back to town. He says I should have texted him, letting him know what she was saying so he could confront her about it, since you don't ever seem to be able to give that girl some boundaries, his words. Now I am thinking maybe I should talk to Jessie? But maybe she was just tipsy and annoying me because she wanted me there. I don't know, I mean, this girl was really nice to me growing up when she could have been a B-word. I don't like how she behaves around him, but at the same time, I don't want it to look like I don't trust her. Is there a polite way of going about it? Update 1. Last night, we were alone because she wanted me to help her choose clothes for an event. I was at her place, so I thought I should say something. I was very polite and just said that I knew she meant no harm, but I didn't feel good about it, so I asked her if she could tone it down. She didn't really say anything mean, but her attitude was a bit off, I think. She was looking at me in a scornful kind of way, and the way she smiled once I was done talking, it just felt weird. She didn't say anything else but okay, and we just moved on to choosing her clothes, and I left after. We were supposed to go get something to eat, but she said she was tired. I am not dumb, she was hurt. So I texted a common friend, more her friend than mine, and without getting into details, I just told him that I talked to Jess about something that was important to me but that I was afraid she may have gotten the wrong idea from it. The common friend said, "Look, I don't want to get involved, but you should watch it." I asked what he meant. He said, "Nothing, just watch it." A little while after that, he texts me back and says, "Changed my mind, I do want to get involved," and sends me a bunch of prints of texts going back and forth between him and Jessie. It basically starts with him asking her if the two of us had a fight because I was worried, and then just a non-stop stream of her being horrible. He was kind with his words, I don't mind him stepping in. She says I had a big mouth and was judging her behavior because I'm a prude who doesn't know how to be around guys. She claims she taught me everything I know about having a life and how dare I tell her what she can or cannot do, or how I should thank her for even having a boyfriend at all. The common friend actually called her out for being rude and no friend of mine. After the prince, he told me, "I'm done with her, I give up, and you should watch it." He also said it was okay if I told her I had the prince. I didn't, though. I didn't know what to say. I mean, she is not 100% wrong, but even though I know that, it really hurts to read those. This morning I woke up and saw she texted me late at night. She says she knows Pete sent me the prince and she didn't mean to be rude, but it's ridiculous that I am jealous of her because if she wanted my boyfriend, she could just have him. She even said, "You want me to prove it?" She ends it with kisses and a joke. So I don't know if she was being playful, apologizing, threatening, or being pragmatic. I haven't answered her yet. I don't know what to say. Should I even say something? Or should I just let it go? Update 2. Turns out she already went after him. I was stupid. My boyfriend is already doing it with her. A friend convinced some other friends to send me prints of texts between themselves and either my boyfriend or Jessie, and they are pretty clear. I confronted my boyfriend, he looked lost, said he loves me, and it wasn't anything serious. He says Jessie kept throwing herself at him, teasing him, and he said he didn't like her. He said he just did it with her to see if she would move on and leave him alone, and that it only happened a couple of times. He says he won't do it anymore, he doesn't even like her, he loves me, asking me to please forgive him. From the texts, once I finally made it through them all, I think that Jessie went to the party, where my boyfriend and I met, because she wanted to hook up with him. She had it bad for him, but he didn't feel the same way. She was trying to get him to break up with me, and then to get me to break up with him, and it worked. As of yesterday, he is a single man. In some of those texts, they are talking about some of the hookups. I feel sick to my stomach. I blocked him because he was still trying to get in touch, and I ghosted her, but she just sent me a message saying she just heard what happened and, you know, this was probably for the best, right? I just feel like screaming. Update 3. I said I'd come back if anything relevant happened. My ex-boyfriend kept trying to get in touch through common friends. They kept asking me to unblock him and at least hear him out because he was really sorry. He loved me, he was a mess, and he didn't mean to. Someone even went as far as to ask me if I was really sure it happened. They offered to send me prints of texts where he was talking about me, so I'd see how he always had great things to say and how much he cared, but I've had it with the print screen drama for life and said no. To the ones who insisted, I told them I wasn't unblocking him, had nothing to say or hear, and if they kept pushing me, I'd block them too. I ran into my ex-boyfriend at this book thing I often go to. Maybe I'm being presumptuous, but I think he went there for me. He didn't really have any business there, but I'm just speculating really. He asked if I had a few minutes for coffee, and I said I was late, so he walked me to my car. He looked so good and smelled great. He was so sweet, even wearing his hair the way I like it. I feel horrible because even after everything, I still like him. He apologized some more, said he knew I needed time and space, but asked if I'd consider giving him another chance because he would wait for me. He said he would never talk to Jessie again and would act like they had restraining orders against each other, and I just found it really funny how everything he was saying required me trusting him, which I don't. So I told him I wasn't interested anymore, and he should move on. I wish I said something snappier or wittier, but I had nothing. This was Saturday, and I haven't heard from him or friends since. I think that was that. Jessie also kept trying to talk to me. Like I told some of you in comments, I had a trip coming up. It would have been me, Jessie, my ex-boyfriend, and a few other friends. Since Jessie couldn't afford it, my parents paid for most of her expenses. She must have remembered this right after everything went down and panicked because I had everything like vouchers, confirmation emails, credit card info, etc. I didn't block her at first because I admit I was having some fun watching her despair. I talked to my mom, and she was amazing. She told me I should cancel everything, even if it cost us money. It was fine, so I did. And for one last bit of print screen drama, I printed all the emails I got confirming cancellations and sent those to Jessie with the word bye before blocking her. My roommate has been amazing. We were never really close, and now I don't even know why. She canceled plans with her friends to stay with me and invited me to go out with them next weekend. A few of you suggested I see a therapist, and I did. I really liked it. It was just one appointment, and I mostly just talked, but it felt good. She gave me homework. She talked a little about unhealthy and abusive relationships and asked me to think about my friendship with Jessie and try to point out what was healthy and what was unhealthy about it. It made me realize she was never really my friend. She was taking advantage of me for years, and she even had me thanking her for it. The therapist also told me about this saying, and I think it was called the narcissist's prayer, which goes something like, "That didn't happen. If it did, it wasn't my fault. If it was, I didn't mean it, and if I did, then you deserved it," which is totally how Jessie is handling this entire thing now, so good riddance indeed. And a final piece of gossip, Pete talked to me yesterday. He checks up sometimes. He's a good guy, and again, he likes guys, in case someone is still thinking this might turn into a romantic comedy. He said Jessie was super sure that since I broke things off, she and Dean would hook up right away, but apparently, he doesn't have the same plans, and that freaked her out over the weekend. Pete says he really is a mess and went out drinking hard for 4 nights in a row to the point he had to be carried home by his pals. And yesterday, they all went out for lunch at this burger place. Jessie was going to run her fingers through his hair or something, and he just pushed her away and told her to stop and never touch him again. Great that now he manages to do that, huh? I guess, in the end, he really did like me in his sick way. The thing is, I don't want to be with someone who likes me in a sick way. I want to be with someone who likes me in a healthy way, and I think I deserve that. I'm also thinking about taking the money I got back from the trip to go somewhere else by myself, but haven't decided yet though. Anyway, this will be the final update on this, as it is unlikely that I will have anything new to add. Now, I think I just need time to heal and let go, you know.